Welcome, everyone. Thanks for joining. We'll get started in just a moment, but in the meantime, if you can let us know in the chat whether or not the audio is coming through okay, I'd appreciate that. Fantastic. Looks like everything is working as expected for once with Zoom. Quick housekeeping. This session is being recorded. We'll send you a link out afterwards. If there's any Q&A, we'll have one at the end. So please feel free to drop your questions in the chat or Q&A, and we'll pick them up if there's anything quick. We'll answer it directly while we're running through everything. I'm John, the co-founder of Userback, and joining me today is Rebecca, our product specialist, who'll be taking us through everything live today. We're doing something a little bit different today. Rather than focusing on a single feature launch, we're doing a proper catch up because we've shipped more in the last couple of months than most quarters. So we wanted to bring it all together in one place to show you how it works and give you a chance to ask any questions. We'll try to keep it tight. So let's get into it. First up, if your product has a native iOS or Android app, there's a good chance that your mobile users are leaving feedback elsewhere, except for where you can act on it. And that's App Store reviews, support emails, or just leaving your app quietly. The mobile SDK changes that. Bugs, feature requests, general feedback can now be submitted directly from inside your app straight into Userback alongside your web app feedback. Each submission includes a screenshot, device metadata, console logs, and network requests automatically. At the moment, Swift, Kotlin, and React Native are supported, and we're also investigating a Flutter SDK as well. We're not just limiting mobile app feedback to just bugs. Surveys are also being introduced into the SDK right now, which means running NPS, CSAT, post-action prompt surveys, all triggered at the right moment without sending users anywhere else. Crash reporting and session replay are also on the roadmap for that as well. Unfortunately, today we can't do a demo on this one just because we don't have access to the tools to show it live, but it's available now and ready for you to implement. Next up, we've done a huge update to our Slack integration. And here's something that happens every day in most teams. A customer will report a bug in a Slack channel, or someone flags a great idea in a direct message. And by the time it gets to the product team, the context is gone. The Userback Slack app fixes that. Any Slack message in any channel, any direct message or threaded conversation, you can now convert into a Userback feedback item in just a click. It's linked back to the person who sent it. Rebecca, can you show us how it works?
No problems. So here I've got a Slack channel. Someone in your team has been speaking with a customer that's having an issue. It's clearly a bug report. It shouldn't just sit in Slack. So before having the Userback Slack app, someone, usually John, would have to manually copy this into Userback, or even worse, it just wouldn't make it there at all and get lost in the noise. To use the Slack app, you open the message menu here and go to Connect Apps and select Create a Feedback. So this is the modal here. Firstly, I'll show you a manual entry. So the original Slack message is already pulled in as the description, so you're not starting from scratch. Then you can add any details that you want to this message. So like, I'll just put the URL in there. You can set the priority, change the feedback type, assign it to someone, and then go create feedback. So that's the manual flow, but there is a faster way to do it if you have the AI feature package. So this time I'll work with a thread. There's the original message there with a few replies. I'll do the same thing as before. This time I'll let AI do it. So I've opened the modal. It'll have the thread. The AI will read the original message and up to 10 replies within that thread. It'll write a summary for you. And this way, instead of reading through the whole thread and writing the description yourself, you get a clean summary in seconds. And I'll just go to the feedback page. Nope, not working.
I might just need a refresh.
Yeah, it would help if I sent create feedback. User error. And there it is. So that's the AI summarized, and then it shows the entire message again. Oop, right, so it'll take you back to the original message if you need to get any more context that's not included in the AI, or if you just want to read through everything.
Yeah, it's been a game changer for my workflow here. For years, I've been messaging the team because I'm using the product all the time, and I would message the product team and just say, "Hey, I was doing this thing and it didn't work properly. Is that a bug?" Or um, a bunch of us we love to talk about ideas in the product and we get a bit crazy with it and we go pretty wide, but that information used to just get caught in a Slack conversation from a while ago, and then months later or years later we'd be talking about it again, and where are those things that we were talking about? So instead of having to manually log it from those conversations, now everything just get pushed from Slack to Userback. And the next two are really valuable quality of life improvements, especially if you're in Userback and you're triaging or responding to feedback every single day. The first is similar feedback. So related feedback items are now surfaced directly inside the feedback that you're viewing, so you can spot patterns or look for previous outcomes without digging. And the second is AI comment improvements, which helps fix grammar, improve clarity, and simplify your responses as you write. Rebecca, can you show us how those work?
Yep, no probs. Okay, so I'm going to open this feedback item here. This is a bug report that came in. So before similar feedback, the only way to know whether this was a one-off or something that's been reported before was to go and search manually based on the text that's in the message. So that's fine when you only have like 10 pieces of feedback, but when you've got hundreds and thousands of feedback, that doesn't really work. So now, right inside the feedback item, you've got similar feedback. So these are the items in the same project that Userback has identified as related to this one. So it's useful for a couple of reasons. So first, you can see immediately whether it's a pattern. If 5 people have reported the same thing, it changes how you prioritize this ticket. Second, if it's a similar issue that's already been resolved, you can fix it right here without going through your backlog. So you can open any of these feedback directly from here, so you're not losing your place or opening a dozen tabs to see everything together. And the idea is that by the time you've done looking at the piece of feedback, you already know whether it's part of a bigger problem without doing anything extra. And with the AI assisted writing, I'm going to show you this in here. So this happens a lot. The user's reported an issue, you've looked into it, and you want to send them an update, but you're moving fast because you have 10 more bugs to look at before the end of the day. So I'm going to type a response the way a lot of us would normally type when we're going quickly. There's a few typos, it's not super polished. And now all I have to do is go to AI assisted comments, fix my grammar and spelling, we'll look at that and go, yes, apply. And what would normally take 5 minutes to refine, check your spelling, all that now only takes a couple of seconds. And then there's two other options worth knowing about here. So improve writing will tighten up the text and language to make it clearer, which is useful if you want to respond and feel a bit more considered in what you're writing. And simplify will strip it back to plain direct language, which is helpful if you're responding to a non-technical user and want to keep it really easy to read. These are all part of the AI assisted package and can be switched on or off in your workspace settings. And you can also change the tone of your AI in your profile settings.
Can you show us where that is actually, the tone settings?
Yeah, of course. Here, go to that cog. We've got AI reply, tone, the brevity, and the AI reply role.
Yeah,
So let's say I'm customer success, I'd pick that one.
so the drop downs they don't come through on the screen record, but
Oh,
basically
okay.
you can choose the reply role. So if you're in customer success or you're doing customer support, you can change the role and it will try to update the content of your messages based on that role. And there's also as Rebecca said, the tone and the brevity. So if you want to keep things nice and tight, you can change the brevity to as it is there, concise.
Yeah.
Those two features have been really helpful for me. In particular, the similar feedback. There's there's been so many times where I've been thinking, hasn't this hasn't this been asked before, or hasn't someone encountered this problem previously? And because we've got features that have been there for such a long time, it's been say years between someone asking something and then someone else asking again. And I'll think, I'm pretty sure this has been logged before. Now I just go straight to that side panel and it will surface those feedback items because we don't delete anything in terms of old feedback. And there's questions and ideas and feature requests all in there. And all of that just gets surfaced. And the main thing that I've been using it for is how did I respond to that question? And I will take that response that I did previously and I will update it for the new question. Previously, I would be searching through feedback, trying to find it. And yeah, the other one is for ideas or feature requests that come through. If someone's asked it previously and it might not be on our feature portal, or maybe it is on the feature portal, now can just go straight to that similar feedback section, have a look at it. Yep, that's actually related to what this person's talking about and can merge them directly from there instead of having multiple feature requests that are similar, just kind of sitting scattered throughout. That's a really valuable feature. But those two features, the similar feedback and the AI assisted comments, they help you at an individual feedback level. What we're about to show you works at the big picture, and I'm pretty excited about it. We receive a bunch of feedback every single week here at Userback. So if you're like us and you also receive a high volume of feedback, you know that reading them all individually, it doesn't scale. You end up with a backlog of feedback that you can't make sense of, and the important stuff can get buried. The Insights feature in your feedback projects aims to solve that. It's going to analyze your feedback automatically and it will group it into recurring themes. It'll show you the sentiment for each theme and it will let you drill into the specific feedback items driving each of the trends in those insights. It refreshes every 24 hours and you can update it manually. Let's take a look at the insights in Rebecca's demo project.
So here it is here. So everything you're looking at here has been pulled from your feedback automatically with no tagging, no manual categorization, no reading through hundreds of items. Userback's already done that work, and you're left with a list of ranked themes in order of volume of the feedback behind them. So your biggest product problem or your biggest idea is sitting right at the top. I'll open the top theme here. You've got the title and a summary of what the theme is, plus a sentiment breakdown, so that you can see at a glance whether users are frustrated, neutral, or somewhere in between. And then there's the evidence section here, which is how Insights arrived at this theme. So it's the patterns and the signals that have been identified across your feedback. And this is kind of like the answer to why is this a theme? And then scrolling down here, you can see every piece of feedback that's associated with this theme. And it isn't just a read-only view. You can manage everything directly from here, like assign items, update statuses, respond to users the same way you would in the main feedback dashboard. You can also export this theme directly to Jira for your product team to work on. So everything that they need is in the ticket, including the links back to each individual feedback item. So the flow is Insights surface the problem, you validate it, you send it to Jira, and then your team takes it from there. There's no manual write-up, there's no context that's lost.
Yeah, I guess the key point in that is validating it. And at the moment, like Rebecca showed the export to Jira, and we're looking at expanding those actions actually further than Jira. One is just export back to a CSV file, but also including generating a survey directly from a theme. And at that point, it really helps you to actually validate the theme or the ideas or the feedback that your users are giving you with your entire user base. So that way, because what I find actually is your loudest users will often be the ones that give you the most feedback. And quite often they might not be representative of the entire user base. So being able to quickly generate a survey, deploy it out to your user base, validate the theme, have the theme update based on uh, the new information coming through is going to be super valuable for that workflow before passing it off to your product team. And we're also adding themes as an option to filter on the feedback page. So directly on the feedback page, when you're looking at, I mean, Rebecca's been using the board view. So if you use the board view, you'll be able to filter feedback by theme directly on that page without going from the theme itself on the overview page. On the topic of insights, if you actually prefer to dive into the insights of your feedback in your own AI tools, such as Cursor, VS Code, Claude, ChatGPT. The Userback MCP connects your Userback workspace directly with all of those tools. It allows you to analyze your entire Userback account's feedback at scale. Or instead of switching tabs, for example, to look up feedback that you've been debugging, you can simply pull it, query it, and act on it without leaving where you're working. Rebecca is running one in the background, but we have some other examples kind of already pre-done, and we'll jump back to that one once it's done.
Yeah, so I've got my project connected to Claude here. So I'm going to show you three prompts that we've put together. One's for a developer, one's for a PM, and one's for a support person to give you a sense of what it actually looks like in practice. So this is the developer prompt. So instead of manually going through every bug report in Userback, filtering and grouping them, AI does that for you. It comes back with a structured fixed list grouped by area of the site with a recommended sprint plan at the end. So it would normally take a developer a good chunk of time to pull together manually. It's ready in seconds and it's pulling from the real data in your Userback project. And then this one here is for a PM. So if you've ever had a leadership meeting where someone asks you, what are your users actually saying? And you've had to scramble, this is how to do it without blowing out your whole day. It comes back formatted as an executive summary, bugs, ideas, recurring themes, with your top critical issues ready to share with a stakeholder. No triaging, no putting a slide deck together, it's all just there for you. And the one that I just ran before is for a customer complaint. So a customer's come with a complaint, their phone experience is broken. Instead of manually searching to find related issues, you can find the best response to fix it. You paste this prompt in, it searches the project for you, and it comes back with a list of matching issues from Userback and drafts a response that you can send straight to the customer. So your support team goes from, I need to investigate this, to I have an answer and a draft reply in one step. And that's the MCP in a nutshell. So you can now kind of like talk to your Userback feedback directly in whichever AI tool you use.
We had a question as you were talking there, which was, are you using a Claude skill to get the output you're looking for? It's just for this demo, it's a prompt, but you could absolutely use a Claude skill.
Yeah, it's a connector as well. So you connect to Userback, so you can turn this on and off. So say you want to do something in your AI, you don't want it to look at Userback, you can just toggle that
Yeah.
off. Yeah.
Yeah, the team here now uses MCP on a daily basis. I don't personally use it daily. I use it probably once a week just to check if there's anything outstanding that hasn't been looked at or anything that's needs to be potentially looked at that hasn't had a response from a team member in it if it's assigned to them. So I'll run that myself. But from the product guys, what they're using it for is they're using MCP with Cursor to help implement bug fixes. I log a lot of feature requests here internally, and they use it to prototype those feature requests directly. So they'll just take my feature requests because I use AI to generate the feature request, and it's pretty detailed. They will take that content of the feature request, use MCP with Cursor to prototype because it's connected to everything. I'm actually keen to see how everyone else is looking to implement or could potentially implement MCP in their organization. So feel free to share that with us. There's one thing that we wanted to cover before we wrap up, and that's just a quick preview of a couple of things that are coming soon. There is a video playing on the next slide, just because we can't show it in product. But basically, we're updating all of the search options inside your feedback view. They're getting a bit smarter. So, for example, updating the search options. Sorry, I'll start that again. Right now, the search works on text matching. So when you're going through search, you'll type something in there and it's going to base the search results on the text that you have, which is completely fine until two users describe the same problem differently. You'll find one of those feedback, maybe not the other. The search is being updated to use AI context searching so that you can find feedback by meaning, not just keywords. And that'll just surface more search results and adjacent feedback rather than matching text. And we're also adding the ability for you to save filters, and we're adding some shortcuts there for common views like just show me my bugs, show me the ideas or overdue items. There's a general tidy up of the filters UI as well. Yeah, as I said, we can't demo that unfortunately today, but it's very, very close. I've been told that if it's not being launched this week, it's either next week or shortly after. Also coming very soon, a weekly summary email. There's a portrait version of it just on the slide there, which gives you a snapshot of your account and the feedback that you have coming in without needing to log into your Userback account. It's just a weekly summary email. So if you're managing multiple projects or you just want to pulse check without opening the dashboard, it's handy to have that email coming through. All right, that is the full roundup. We do have a couple of minutes for questions now if you want to drop them in the chat, if you haven't already, and we'll work through them. There was one that did come through, which I didn't answer, which was how do I get access to the MCP? So right now, if you're using Claude desktop or Claude web, you'll need to reach out to us directly to get a client ID and a secret. It's something that we can generate on our end and we can get it through to you pretty quickly so that you can connect straight away. If you're using OpenAI, Userback is an MCP service available directly through the OpenAI marketplace. So you can just go straight there and connect up straight away. You don't need to contact us for anything. And if you're using Cursor or Claude Code, you can just connect directly. The instructions on doing that are available in our documentation. There's another question that's actually just come through. I missed it at the start. Did you say that surveys are now supported on mobile? Not right now, but very soon. The team are currently implementing survey support for mobile. Can you control which Slack channels the Slack app is installed in, or is it workspace wide? Rebecca, do you know the answer to that?
It's workspace wide.
Workspace wide, yeah.
Yeah.
Is there a timeline for the Flutter SDK? Not at the moment. Usually what we do there is once we release a feature, we will go out to our customers and we will get feedback from them. In this case, because it's specific to a code base of a team member and what they're building. We look for that feedback, and if there's enough requests from that and the demand is there, then we'll implement that. I do know that the team have been specifically looking at the Flutter SDK of recent. So they've been doing some testing with that. Oh, actually, this is a good one. The similar feedback feature, does it work across projects or within the same one? It's just project based. So when you're looking at specific feedback, you'll see that in there, like Rebecca showed. But thinking about it, you could actually use the MCP to surface that for you. So you would just run a prompt and say, hey, check these projects and tell me if there's any similar feedback across them.
Yeah,
Um,
that's a really good use case, actually. Yeah.
and yeah, that looks like all of the questions. We'll hang on here for a little bit if there's any more questions coming through. So please, if you do have any, just drop them in the chat. Okay, that looks like everything for now. Thank you so much for joining the recording. It'll be with you shortly. One last thing, if you've got any feedback on anything that we've showed today, we'd love to hear about it. You can reach out to us on our Discord or email contact@userback.io. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Really appreciate you taking the time out of your days.
Thanks, everyone.